Good evening, and we are live here once again on a Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Training presented by the App Wizard Studio team. It's always good to be here, always good to have you join us. Uh, just some quick pre-game show, I guess you could say. If you have not joined our Facebook group, join our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/AWS Mastermind. And obviously, that's for those who are watching on YouTube as we excuse me, as we broadcast live, obviously with me choking to death here, as we broadcast live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. If you've not joined our YouTube channel, go to YouTube and just search for App Wizard Studio, and you can see the little icon there next to App Wizard Studio and join our App Wizard Studio page. We broadcast live at the same time on Facebook and our Facebook group, and also on YouTube at the same time. So let's see here. Yeah, we got this going on. Let me back out of this to make sure. Hopefully the volume is on. I guess it is. Just making sure we have volume here. And we got a show. And so I go to our YouTube channel, just checking in here. I don't know why that's not coming up. But if you guys can hear me, if somebody would just say something in the comments, I want to make sure you can hear me. You should be able to hear me. Just throw something up in the comments. I can't get on live on my phone here. So for whatever reason, let me go over here to the other side just to make sure. It's kind of important that you can hear me, which you should be able to. Give me a second as I go into AWS Mastermind. There we go. Oh yeah, you can hear me. All right. So anyway, you can hear me on the online, and we're going to continue to roll in here. And real quick disclaimer: App Wizard Studio nor I cannot guarantee just because you're watching training you will make any sales, create any traffic, or increase your income. Every person is different, has different work ethics and different desires. And tonight we are going to talk about 5 key tips to specifically selling mobile apps. Specifically selling mobile apps. Thank you, Linda. And that came over from YouTube. I appreciate that very much. Specifically selling mobile apps. And this is something we've talked about a lot over the years. And there's one thing I will preface this with. It doesn't matter what product you have to be able to sell. If you can't sell, it doesn't matter if it's a pencil, it doesn't matter if it's an app, it doesn't matter if it's a car. If you can't sell and you don't understand the principles and the basics of selling, doesn't mean you can't. It just means that you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to be able to make that happen. So let's talk a little bit about sales today and some of the most important things that you have to do. And number one is you have to locate the decision maker. You know, it is so awesome to be able to walk in and just chat with somebody, and we give them our spiel, and we're so excited when we walk out, and man, everything's going good, and we just feel good about ourselves, and talk to the total wrong person because and you stood there for 30, 45 minutes, and they loved what they saw, and you have to pick up and use simple field sales methods. And one of those is locating the person who is actually going to make the decision to place an order. In order to approach your leads, however, it's important to remember when you first enter the premises, when you first walk in the door, when you first start talking to someone, when you're looking for that potential client, the chances of speaking to the decision maker are pretty slim. I mean, a lot of times you may be talking to the decision maker and you don't even know it, but they're sitting there telling you that that person isn't in because they are busy. I've had that happen more than once where I say, oh, hey, well, when are they normally here? And they give me a time. I mean, they're literally setting an appointment for themselves. And I come back and find out that it's the person that I talked to. And it's not that they're being rude, they're busy. Okay. And they don't want you to try to sell them or close them or make any excuses, but you have to approach the right person. And when you talk to a member of the staff, okay, in a friendly manner, don't go in with a full sales pitch. And that's what we tend to do. And I've done it, you've done it, we've all done it. And sometimes it's a great place to practice, but it simply waste time. Explain who you are and ask if they are the owner or the manager, or if the owner or the manager is around to discuss with in more detail. And if not, ask for the contact details. Simply, when are they going to be here? Who is it that I need to talk to? Now, if you do your homework before you go there, and you've gone out, and we've talked about this 1,000 times. This is kind of a pre-sales, go out and get your name out there, brand yourself, let everybody know who you are. And you go out and you just simply introduce yourself to your community. And you're only going to be, I mean, if you're out marketing and you're building your business, your community circumference is only about 5 to 10 miles. Okay. I mean, we tend to, and I don't know why people do this, but we think we have to drive 60 miles to go get business. You don't have to do that. Start with your local community and go out and start introducing yourself. And if you've done that previously when you started building your business and you started picking up customers that way because you found out that they were actually interested in that, you know who the business owners are. And so if they're not there, ask for their information. And usual time they're available. You know, sometimes we get all the information and we just show back up, and guess what? The person's not there. Why? Because we had no clue when the manager or the owner or the decision maker is actually there. And always, 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 this is the one thing you need to do with the person behind the counter. Always share your mobile business card with them. Always share your mobile business card with them. And any other promotional materials that you may use. I know some of you have full sales decks and all that stuff. Whatever you have, leave it so that they know that you were there. Okay. And they can pass it on. They can explain you came by, when you're going to be back. Get the information, but get in and get out. Do not waste your time. Time is extremely valuable. And when you talk to salespeople, and some of you may have salespeople and you wonder why they're not making any sales. And when you sit down and you do an evaluation and you say, well, you know, how many people did you talk to today? Well, I talked to 15 people. Well, how many sales did you get? 0. How many appointments follow-ups did you? Well, 0. Why is that? Well, I didn't talk to anybody relevant. You have to talk to somebody of relevance. You have to talk to someone that can make a decision. You have to talk to someone that can write the check. Number 2, be prepared. The toughest and hardest conversation that I have with someone, when I talk to them, when I discuss with them, when I say, hey, share with me your sales pitch, share with me what you talk about. And they're not even prepared to tell me. Most of them, as I'm talking to them, I can go in and I can look for their business app or whatever they're going to show the person, and they have nothing. They're just out trying to sell something without even understanding the process or the program or the things that they have, okay? The product knowledge, they're not prepared to go out. If they're not prepared to talk to me on the phone, I can promise you they're not prepared to go out and make a sale. If you're walking into a nail salon or a hair salon, show them a demo of a hair salon. Now, some of you say, well, Kerry, you say I don't have demos. Well, I don't have to have demos because I have literally built apps in just about every single niche that we market to. But if you have nothing, if you have 0, The greatest thing you can do, especially for practice, is build a few demo apps. If your market is going to be nail salons, if your market is going to be tire stores, if your market's going to be the real estate market, if your market's going to be insurance agents, if it's going to be used car lots, whatever it's going to be, towing companies, all right, whatever it's going to be, make up a few demos of that. Two things happen. You get familiar with the apps themselves, and when you walk in, you can share that. Now, if you've not made any sales at all, you can't go in and say, well, this is what I did for Dave or John or Joe. Okay. And if you haven't done that, don't say that, because the first thing they're going to say, oh, well, yeah, show me Joe's. Well, I don't really have that. Make something and make it relatable. Make sure that it contains the features you can offer a salon customer. A lot of people say, well, salons want appointment setting programs. I use Calendly all the time. Calendly is a great responsive app that works right inside the app. It's a great tool. It's free. You can show them how to set it up. I recommend that you charge them for setting it up. But that's not an excuse to not go into a salon, because there are tools out there that we have taught on that you can use. The reason you can't go in and sell it is because you've never actually set one up to be able to go in and demonstrate it. Why? Because you're not prepared. You have to be prepared. Worst deal I was ever at in my life, I went and bought a new car. And I knew exactly what car I wanted. And I walked in and I told the guy, I said, hey, I want to see a Ford F-150. This is what I want. This is what I want on it, And he brings me up a Ford F-350. Totally different color. And I knew they had the color that I wanted on the lot because they had a dozen of them sitting there. I wanted the new Ford Blue when it came out a few years back. I told him exactly what I wanted. And even still, he came back unprepared. And I asked him straight up, why did you bring that truck up here for? Well, I wanted you to drive it. If I wanted to drive that car that I had no intention of purchasing or anything else, nor did I not want to drive it because it didn't suit what I needed. It wasn't relatable and it didn't contain anything that I wanted. Why would you do that? And people have a habit of that when they go out and sell apps to sell the wrong thing. You have to be prepared. Ensure you don't demo an app for a tire store if you're going to a nail salon. Or if you're going to a car dealership, they sure don't want to see a nail salon app. Okay? So make sure that your preparation is good and everything is ready to go before you go out. If you're going to do nail salons and you build a nail salon app, go out today and hit all nail salons. Be prepared. And it always pays off. The key aim of a demo is the wow factor. When I build an app, I always like the wow factor. And when someone opens that app, I love the look on their face. All right. The wow factor is what sells. So ensure you have prepared an app relevant to the potential client you are visiting. Show a salon owner or a restaurant app or a restaurant owner a salon app, and you shouldn't be surprised if they don't buy. If they turn you away and they show you the door and they're not interested in anything you have, don't blame it on the customer. Blame it on non-preparation. Feedback. Always get feedback. Most people are afraid of feedback. Sales is a numbers game. And, you see all this crap on Facebook and all that stuff. Guys, I've been in sales my entire life that I've been working, I have been in sales. It's always a numbers game. Number of people you talk to, number of people that become a lead, number of people that become a sale. It's always numbers, all right? So the only way you're going to get better is feedback. Do not be afraid to ask, you know what, Carrie? I know you didn't buy. Was there anything that I could have said to pique your interest. You'll be amazed at what they will tell you because you're usually talking to salespeople. You're usually talking to, now they may not be a salesperson that you're thinking of, but they're selling tires, they're selling haircuts, they're selling hamburgers, they're selling something. And people like to talk and be open with them, and just because someone says no doesn't mean that they're not going to say yes. It doesn't mean no doesn't mean yes, and yes doesn't always mean no. All right. Take feedback and understand why they say no. Is it cost? John, can I ask you a question? Was it the cost of the product that I stood before you to sell? Was that what kept you? No, Carrie, the cost was great. I just don't understand why you showed me a hair salon app when I sell cars. Do not think it's useful to their customer base. Do they not understand the concept? Hey, do you not understand how to use this? Do you not understand how this can bring customers? Well, no, I don't understand that at all. So ask questions, get feedback, find out if they even think that their customers would use the app. I mean, we know, and we talked last week about statistics. Apps are the hottest, fastest growing thing in the world right now. Why? Because we live in that microwave world where everybody wants information and they want it right now. You need this feedback first and foremost to develop your process and ensure you're explaining the right message in your demo. And secondly, a few months down the line, when you've sold a few customers in the area within the same sector, you can go back to those who turned your solution down and say, when we spoke a few months ago, you stated the following reasons why you wouldn't find an app useful. You might be interested to know that company A, B, and C are using the app for the reasons we discussed, and here's some great feedback from the users. Utilize FOMO. And for those of you that don't know what FOMO is, it's the fear of missing out. The greatest FOMO salesman I know, and he's the most impressive FOMO salesman I know, the number one FOMO salesman I've ever seen is Roger Pineda, because he will walk into a customer and show them their competitors' apps. And 99% of the time they buy. Why? FOMO. They don't want somebody else having something they don't. And you'll find out, especially when you're in that 10, 15 mile radius, all the business owners, all the niches, they all know each other. So FOMO really, really works great. People do not want to miss out. That's the reason when John buys a new car next door, all of a sudden the car that we're driving just isn't up to muster anymore. You got to keep up with the Joneses. Man, I don't want to miss out on having a new car. You go to your best friend's house and they got a 70-inch TV hanging on the wall and they got it on sale at Walmart. Next thing you know, you're looking at every single way you can to get that new 70-inch TV so that you can watch the Super Bowl on it because your buddy's got it. Fear of missing out. It's one of the greatest sales techniques in the world. Hey, let me show you what I did for John over here on the north side of town, who's got a shop just like yours. And man, he's having really great luck using his app. FOMO. Do not forget those 4 letters. Fear of missing out. And this is my favorite terminology. I've been using it all my life, and it's the only way I know how to do business. I don't do business any other way. It's always been the way I do business, and I do it for many different reasons, but I keep it simple. Work with the solution you sell, not against it. Key reason, we suggest target audience, somebody that you know, somebody that you understand. If you understand roofing, go after the roofing market. If you understand working on cars, go after the automotive market. If you understand the lawn business, go after the lawn business. If you have cut hair your entire life, go after that market. Okay, go after the salons, go after the beauticians. All right. You have to understand who your market is, being they are relevant to the solution that you can provide. Not only that, you are an expert in the field. Without any doubt, some potential clients you speak with will say they want to be the super guy. You know, they want to be the Uber of dry cleaning, the WhatsApp of business networking, the next social media giant. You're not going to sell them anything because I don't care what you offer them. You're not going to offer them what they want. Keep it simple. Been doing this since 2012. And I would say if I've had 100, I've had 1,000 phone calls. Carrie, can we do this? Is that part of the app features you're selling? If it's not part of the app features you're selling, then no, you can't. Sell the features that you want to sell. Don't let them drag you down a rabbit hole because you're going to waste your time. They're never going to buy because you're never going to satisfy them. Keep it simple. Extremely simple. When a potential client raises these questions, provide the modules that you offer. Now, if you haven't gone through the complete app and you didn't go through all the trainings that we went through several weeks ago, and you didn't see all the things that we did and all the features in the app, I highly recommend that you go into the Facebook group and you watch all those videos because we went over every single feature in the app. But pick you 3 or 4 that you can get really good at. Don't try to get good at everything at once, okay? Keep it simple. When a client starts raising all these questions, show them the modules that you offer. What you see is what you get. It's the most important thing you can do. And move on to the next lead. Don't waste time chasing dead ends. Because you may call me and say, yo, yeah, I do that all the time. Well, I don't know how to do it. Then if you don't know how to do it, then don't go sell it. Keep it simple for yourself. What's simple for me? What's simple for Woodrow? What's simple for Mark? What's simple for Mike Cahill? What's simple for Roger Pineda? Okay? May not be simple for you. I can tell you, Roger Pineda sells 6 buttons and he sold over 1,000 of them. That's how simple he keeps it. He doesn't add anything. And he sold 1,000 apps. You know why? Because he keeps it simple. He sells what he knows, and he doesn't need to know anything else because that's the way he runs his business. And simple is good. Number 5, if at first you don't succeed, pick yourself up and try again. We touched on that earlier. Everything's a number. I don't care what you do. And I've said this 1,000 times. I was listening to Shark Tank the other day. And the very first thing that Mr. Wonderful, I can't think of his name. Mr. Wonderful's asked the guy, he said, why don't you know your numbers? Numbers create everything. Numbers create closes. Numbers create clients. Numbers create everything you do. So if you go out there and you're getting the no's and you're getting the yeses and you're getting the no's, you're going to learn exactly when the next yes is going to come and when the next no is going to come. You will get that good at your numbers. You know what? Will know exactly what your percentages are, when they are, and how they are. Okay. The most important thing you have to do is you have to get out and sell. Sitting at home, letting 9 or 10 hours pass and say, I'm going to do it tomorrow will never get you there. The average conversion rate from speaking with a decision maker to paid sale is about 15%. About 15%. So to put that into perspective, for every 20 decision makers you speak to, you're likely to sell 3 apps. Now, if you're not selling 3 apps after talking to 20 people, you need to start recording yourself. You need to put your phone in your pocket. You need to hit record when you walk in the door. You need to listen to your sales process. Now, I want you to think about this a moment. That's talking to 4 decision makers a day, 5 days a week. Now, I don't know how much you sell your apps for. Everybody's different. Everybody's all over the place. Some people sell them way too cheap. Some people are just way off the map trying to get rich off of one app, you know. So, but think about this for a moment. If you're selling your apps for a $250 setup and you sold 3 of them, you make $750 this week. That's $3,000 a month. Now, you go out there and you sell 3, 6, 9, you sell 12 apps and you're getting $49 a month or $29 a month. But let's just say $20 a month. Okay? That's what? $360 in recurring revenue. Go out and do that every single month for the next year. And your recurring revenue is going to build. Next month, it's going to be $720. Okay. And the next month, it's going to be what? $4,080. And you build it every single month. And next thing you know, you're making $4 or $5 grand just in recurring income, not including the $3,000 a month you're bringing in on new customers. That's at a 15% closure rate. 15% closure rate. No matter how good a salesperson you are, and I'm pretty dang good, but I don't close everybody. I do not close everybody. You know what? You will not sell to every lead. You will not speak to a decision maker every time you walk in the door. We give you all the tools. Okay? We give you everything to sell. We give you all the marketing information. We teach you. We share with you right here every single Wednesday night. But we cannot go out and physically do it for you. We cannot physically make you speak to clients. That's your job. And the more people you speak to, the more successful you will be. The first 2 years probably that I did these trainings, I would not put my face on camera. Okay? I would not put my face on camera. Would not. Now I do it all the time. Why? Because I was in Florida and I was talking to a guy who was a PR specialist, public relations specialist. He said, Kerry, you need to be on camera. He said, why don't you get on camera? I said, I don't know. I said, I'm afraid to. Get over your fear and make it happen. And the more you do it, the more you go out and sell, the more you go out and talk to people, the more you go out and understand the app, the more you go out prepared, the more people you talk to, that 15% becomes more and more relevant. What if you talk to 40 people this week? What if you start getting referrals and your referral close rate is about 60 to 70%? And so you go out and make 3 sales a week and you bring in 2 referrals every week. It doesn't get any more powerful than that. And that's how you make money in the mobile app business. That's how it works. And if you will do that consistently over and over and over again, you will succeed. You will win. And you will create the recurring wealth that you want to create so you don't have to go out and kill yourself. You don't have to go out and work yourself to death. You don't have to work the shoes off your feet. But you have to get out and do it. I want to thank everybody for coming out. I really appreciate, there's nothing I enjoy more than coming here on Wednesday nights and teaching and training and taking all the experience I've had in the app business and selling apps and building apps and doing all that and bringing that to you. So thank you. Everybody have a great evening. Good night. God bless. And all of us here at the App Wizard Studio team, we will see you next Wednesday right here on training.